Her son, alias Sadak John, on Thursday morning. Sadak was fired over an attempt to suspend Somalia Parliament. On Monday, Somalia's parliament extended its mandate and that of President Mohamed Farmajo by 2 years, giving the incumbent some respite but creating a potential opposition from the international community and the opposition groups who are now reportedly planning arms action. Our correspondent Ahmed Hussein has been keeping an eye over the happenings in Mogadishu and has the details.
Somalia politics were thrown into a state of confusion on Monday as the two houses of parliament clashed on the status of President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo. On Monday, Mogadishu police chief announced he suspended parliament, saying he was acting unilaterally to prevent lawmakers from extending the president's term, only to be fired moments later by the police commissioner. The second letter indicated that Sadiq acted against police procedures by issuing controversial orders, sending a word of warning to the lower house of parliament against conducting its business. The chaos underscores the widening division within the Horn of Africa security forces over extending the 4-year term of President Mohamed Abdullahi, who faces growing pressure to quit after his term as the national leader ended in February. Some of the opposition presidential candidates, including the former presidents, have praised General Sadiq for his courage. The opposition group and the National Salvation Forum on Tuesday warned the extension move was a threat to Somalia peace and stability.
I
want to tell the international community, who have reportedly told us they are working on an election, while the president of the states continuing with the ongoing discussions. The outgoing president left the conference and then called the outgoing parliament to extend his term. If you need an example, you have the example. It means that you have invested in Somalia's security. It means that you have invested in the security and economic growth of Somalia. You should understand that the country's economy is declining, security is declining. You want to reduce your engagements and assistance, then the nation is in a state of despair. And one person who wants to rule illegally with a gun is responsible for all this.
The United States and the United Kingdom have both registered their disappointment of the Somalia parliament extended the present term for 2 years. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony J. Blinken went public with those threats on Tuesday in a statement warning Mr. Mohammed, whose term technically ended in February, that any attempt to extend its tenure will be firmly opposed by the United States. The UK also says that it will work with international partners on a common approach to reevaluate its relationship and the nature of assistance to Somalia. The federal government of Somalia, however, welcomed the decision and saying it remained committed to implementing free and fair elections in the country within the stipulated time and urged its partners to continue their constructive support for Somalia's security and stability. The decision was reached on Monday after the emergency assembly of the lower house saw some 149 MPs vote to extend their mandate, with 3 voting against and 1 abstaining from the vote. The house usually has 275 MPs. Local media on Thursday morning reported the botched attempt to arrest the former police chief, Sadiq Omar, after an operation by the Somali National Army and NISA officials at his home in Shirkole in the Northern District failed to materialize. As for now, though, tension still remains high, even as the international community calls on Somalia's federal government and the federal member state leaders to return to talks urgently and agree to a way forward to resolve the electoral crisis. Ahmed Hussein, KT News.
Let's now talk about Ethiopia. Hundreds in the Tigray region have reported being subjected to horrific sexual violence